Today's Broncos Breakdown is presented by the Fetch Rewards app, where you can earn points on any receipt from any store or restaurant and then redeem those points for gift cards and other rewards. Get started over at chatsports.com/fetch and use the promo code Broncos for 3,000 points. We'll talk about them later on in the show. But let's get into today's show, which is all about the latest coaching rumors. And I don't know if you guys heard, but Sean Payton, kind of broke the NFL news wave today by announcing his stepping down / retirement / whatever you want to call it from the New Orleans Saints. So we'll touch on that and how likely is it the Broncos try to lure Sean Payton to Mile High. With that being said, though, do you want to see Sean Payton on the sidelines walking up and down with that red challenge flag poking out of his pocket next year? Go ahead and like the video if you would love to see that happen, because let's be honest, Sean Payton is one of the best coaches in the NFL. He had the Saints team nearly in the playoffs this year when their starting quarterback tore his ACL in Week 7 and somehow made Trevor Siemian look like a half-decent quarterback in the Broncos. We know a thing or two about Trevor Siemian. But let's get into the Sean Payton news and rumors, because the ESPN beat reporter in New Orleans tweeted this out. I think this does a great job summarizing the entire Payton saga and how he could maybe / probably not end up in Denver. Payton is not necessarily permanently retiring, but deciding to take a break after 16 years at Saints coach. No word yet on immediate plans, though. Sources have been told ESPN TV networks are interested. Payton under contract through 2024, so another team would have to trade for him. I want everyone to read that last sentence again. Payton under contract through 2024, so another team would have to trade for him. That's right. You can't just go sign Sean Payton because he's under contract, so we get a potential very rare head coaching trade. So, Sean Payton stepping down from the Saints today, being Tuesday. In his press conference, he said, "I don't like the word retirement," which makes me think he's not just going to, kick his feet back and sit on his ass for the rest of his life. He wants to get back into some football capacity, whether that's in front of the camera or whether he wants to be on the sideline for a different team. Like I said, the Broncos, though, they would have to trade for Sean Payton. You can't just go out and sign him. Sign's not even the right hire, right? That's the right word. You can't just go out and hire Sean Payton because he retired. You'd have to trade for him. If you don't remember, Bruce Arians was the coach of the Cardinals and then ended up with the Bucs. But he retired from the Cardinals. So the Bucs actually had to trade for Bruce Arians. When this happens, teams are very happy to just take like a 5th round, 6th round, 7th round pick. Usually because that head coach gave that franchise so much. Sean Payton gave New Orleans a Super Bowl. The Saints don't want to have bad blood between each other, so they would not be resistant to pulling off a trade if Sean Payton comes back in 2023, because it sounds like he might want to take 2022 off. How likely is Sean Payton to Denver? Not likely at all. Earlier in last couple of weeks, Sean Payton rumors of a trade happening came a buzzing, and the Broncos were never on his list. Apparently, he may have had a list of a couple teams like the Bears, where he's from Illinois, and the Giants. But the Broncos were just not one of those teams that appeared to be on his radar. I want to ask this question, though. What do you want the Broncos to trade for Sean Payton? He's got such a great pedigree, but let me know what you think. I personally would love to see Sean Payton to being the next Broncos head coach. I think every franchise except for 1, 2, or 3 would love, except for the Patriots, and probably another one would take Payton over their head coach. Let me know what you think. Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Next up on today's show, Nathaniel Hackett. I've been meaning to say this for a while. Power to move by Nathaniel Hackett. Anyone that goes by full name Nathaniel, that guy, I like that guy because he's like, no, you're not calling me Nate. All right, we're going to full name this one. But he interviewed apparently for the Broncos head coaching job for 9 hours. 9-hour interview. I don't know if the interview was once you solve this Rubik's Cube, you can leave, but 9 hours. I would love to know what kind of questions were tossed his way and what they catered for lunch, because if you're going to stick someone in the room for that long, you better get Nick and Sam's in Dallas or Del Frisco somewhere else. But the other top head coaching candidates for the Broncos looks like this. Hackett, who interviewed with the Broncos on Monday, and then Dan Quinn and Kevin O'Connell are the 2 other candidates to be determined on when the Broncos will interview them. As we film right now on Tuesday, no word just yet on when those interviews will take place. I want to tell you guys more about the Fetch Rewards app because they've got great stuff going on, and you should check them out today. Here's the deal with Fetch Rewards, okay? They are a super easy and free app that gets you literally points on any single receipt you use. So just take a screenshot, take a picture, scan your receipt, and get points for that receipt. And then the more points you build up, you can redeem them for gift cards and other rewards. Gift cards to Amazon, Visa, anywhere you shop or dine. Get started today at chatsports.com/fetch. I'll have that link in the comments and the description of this video. It'll be high up in the comments and the description as well, so you can't miss it. It's completely free to use. Earn points on any receipt from any store or restaurant, and then turn those points around for gift cards anywhere you want. They've got pretty much every store there. Super simple. If you're going to be shopping anyway and you're going to pick up receipts, just scan it and boom, you got some points to redeem for a gift card later on. Get started with that promo code Broncos for 3,000 free points. Looking at the 3 current head coach candidates, the list started at 10. And Payton has whittled it down to 3. Let's go through the pros and cons for all 3. So starting with Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn, his biggest pro is he's got head coaching experience. Something Hackett and O'Connell cannot say. And also Quinn seems to be just very well liked. And I think people lose sight during head coaching searches of, hire Dan Quinn, the Cowboys defense is rated number 1. That's not how people work. You don't hire someone because of what their stats are, with their defense ranked. You hire them because they impressed you in an interview, right? You got to work alongside this person. It's just like any other business to a degree. And he seems to be very well liked and respected. Nathaniel Hackett, his biggest pro, he's got play calling experience. He's an offensive-minded guy. He's had a handful of years calling the plays, whether it's in Buffalo or Jacksonville. Kind of rehabbed a little bit now in Green Bay under LaFleur. But and then the other big pro for him is maybe he could lure Aaron Rodgers with him. Maybe Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to go to a team that he doesn't have any familiarity with. Hey, I'll go hang out with my buddy, good old Nathaniel, not Nate, he's a Nathaniel guy, in Denver, all right? Kevin O'Connell, pro for him. He kind of fits that young and offensive mold. Everyone's chasing that next Sean McVay, up-and-coming offensive guy, Kyle Shanahan. Kevin O'Connell, he's fit, he's 36 years old. Yeah, he checks that box for sure. He also coached at Washington. And if you know anything about Washington, it's basically 2 things. One, they're kind of dumpster fire of an organization. They literally have feces falling from their ceilings in their stadium and bleachers collapsing onto Jalen Hurts. Also, they have a great reputation of letting head coaches leave their organization. Sean McVay, one-time the coach with Washington. Matt LaFleur, another coach that was in Washington. So there's a handful of great coaches that started in Washington. Maybe hop on that Kevin O'Connell bandwagon. As for the cons now for these 3 guys, Dan Quinn, bad ending in Atlanta. The 28-3 Super Bowl blown loss, just downhill after that. And then is he Vic Fangio light? Is he Vic Fangio 2.0? No. Vic Fangio is much more of a defensive-minded guy than Dan Quinn is. Dan Quinn's a relatively more balanced coach who just leans a little bit more to the defensive side. Vic Fangio was pretty much all defense. I don't think he really knew much about the offense. Nathaniel Hackett, his biggest con, no head coaching experience. And then I also have, what if Rodgers doesn't go to Denver? What if Rodgers, you know what, I want to end my career in Green Bay, or I'm just going to retire, or I'll go to Pittsburgh. And then you hire Hackett, and you look at him, and you're like, where's your buddy Aaron? He's like, oh, didn't you hear he didn't want to come, but you got me. And everyone's like, well, we hired you for actually Rodgers. So that would be really bad. And then Kevin O'Connell, he's just 36 years old. Is he over his head a little bit? Maybe a little early for him to be getting a serious head coaching interview. Has only been coaching in the league for 6 years, so seems a little early for him to be given the keys to a kingdom. And that's why it makes me think, is it kind of Vance Joseph all over again? Joseph, a defensive-minded guy, O'Connell offense, but still young hire that just was a little too early in his career. If you guys are looking for Broncos news and rumors all offseason long, then you found the right place. Hit that big red button, subscribe, join the channel today. We're putting out news and rumors content all year long throughout the entire offseason. So hit that big red button, join the channel if you have not already. And if you have, we appreciate you making us a part of your daily, weekly Broncos news feed and rumors routine. Nathaniel Hackett, getting back to him. He reportedly, like I said earlier, had a 9-hour second interview with Payton on Monday. It just makes me think of that scene in Oh, I'm blanking on a movie, but Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where he's like 9 times, like 9 hours. Also, it looks like he may be the front runner. Maybe I'm just overreacting to this, but the Broncos could have interviewed Hackett or Quinn this week. O'Connell, can't talk to him just yet because the Rams are still alive in the playoffs. But they chose to talk to Hackett first. I think that's got to count for something. I think that has to mean something. When you're trying to figure out if you want to hang out with friend A or friend B, whoever you text first is usually the person you want to hang out with most, right? The NFL, though, after Sean Payton stepped down or retired, whatever you want to call it, from the Saints, had their 9th head coaching position open up. So now there's a bit of a push for teams to get a bit of a move on to hire their head coach. And that's where I think the Broncos may want to get a bit of a move on themselves. When they hired Vic Fangio, they did it in a week. And I'm very happy that Payton is taking his time and not necessarily rushing it, although the Fangio hire at the time seemed a lot better than in hindsight now. But I'm fine with him taking his time. It's just you don't want to wait too long and lose, if Dan Quinn's your top guy, to the Giants or to the Bears, who apparently like him a lot. That's all I'm saying is don't wait too long and then lose your favorite coach and look back and go, what did we just do? Why did we mull this over for an extra 36 hours? Kevin O'Connell, his notes. So the Broncos cannot interview him until after the NFC Championship game. So Monday would be the soonest they could talk to him. And it's looking like O'Connell is that dark horse candidate. You always seem to get one at head coaching hires. Usually they come down to 3, 2 makes sense, and 3rd is a little, didn't see this one coming, but he must be really good in interviews. Where's great cologne maybe? I'm not sure. But like I said, they can't talk to O'Connell until Monday after the Rams game. Even if the Rams win, they can talk to him on Monday. So is it a little risky waiting that long? We'll dive into that topic in a second. But who do you think the Broncos will hire? Really, who do you think they will? A little bit of a mix, rather, of who do you want them to hire, or who do you think? It looks like it's one of these 3 names. So if you're hoping they're going to hire someone like Brian Flores, I got bad news for you. They haven't interviewed him, and they're probably not going to. But who do you want? Who do you think the Broncos will hire? I'm worrying about a domino effect, though. I'm worried that once one coach goes, because this head coaching cycle is very unique in the NFL because it timed up well with a lot of GM vacancies. So the Bears, the Raiders, the Giants all prioritize hiring a GM before a head coach, and now those GMs are starting to fall in place, which means the GMs are probably going to make a hire soon. And if, let's say, the first head coach is hired on Thursday, or we can see a mad scramble across all other 8 teams to get their head coaching hire in soon to get their top guy, because a lot of streams are crossing right now. So a lot of people are having the same crush on the similar candidates. Dan Quinn not being interviewed yet, by the way, is pretty interesting. As I record this right now on Tuesday afternoon, haven't seen notice that the Broncos are going to interview him. So I don't know if this is them looking at it like we loved Hackett a lot, we want to think about it for another day or two and then hire him, or we just keep calling Dan Quinn and his voicemail box is full. I don't really know what the issue is, but I think it's worth noting that they haven't interviewed Dan Quinn a second time just yet. Here's my fear, though. This is what I've kind of been hinting at. My fear is that the Broncos will wait too long because they want to speak to Kevin O'Connell on Monday, and by the time Monday rolls around, Quinn or Hackett has been hired. They had the second interview with O'Connell, and he doesn't wear that great cologne again, and they're like, oh, this was a mistake. Why did we wait so long to talk to you? Well, now half the candidate pool is gone, and we got to redo some more. We got to add in some more second interviews. I just worry waiting too long could bite the Broncos in the butt. To wrap up the video, if you have not already, hit that big red button and subscribe, and we're going to catch you guys later here on the Broncos Breakdown.